Despite the worldwide economic crisis and the U.S. tightening its sanctions on suppliers to the Chinese company Huawei, South Korea last year exported more semiconductors than ever. Analysts are saying this year is looking even better, with exports to top $100 billion. Eum Ji-young reports.
South Korea's semiconductor exports are forecast to surpass $100 billion in 2021. That would be the second time in history for the figure to exceed the $100 billion mark. According to the data released by the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy on Tuesday, the country's exports of semiconductors in 2020 stood at $99.2 billion, up 5.6% compared to the previous year. Despite the sluggish global trade amid COVID-19, 2020 still saw South Korea's second highest ever semiconductor export figures.
Due to contact-free trends amid COVID-19, there was high investment in servers, and the demand for semiconductors that go into servers was also higher than expected.
As of December 2020, Samsung Electronics was ranked the world's #1 semiconductor firm in terms of market capitalization, beating Taiwan's TSMC. The market was shook up this year when the U.S. imposed restrictions on suppliers to Chinese tech giant Huawei, but an expert says this had little impact on South Korean semiconductors.
Sanctions on Huawei had little or no impact on country's exports because Huawei had already purchased all the semiconductors that it needed for this year before the restrictions took effect in September.
The global semiconductor industry is forecast to expand by up to 10% in 2021 compared to last year. The global use of semiconductors is to increase further in 2021, with the smartphone industry expected to use 2.4% more, the server industry expected to use 6% more, and the PC industry expected to use about 6% more semiconductors this year. South Korea's investment in semiconductor plants and equipment is also forecast to rise, and it is expected to reclaim the #1 spot in 2021 after falling to #3 in 2019 behind China and Taiwan. Eum Ji-young, Arirang News.